So let's back up to 8 months ago. I wasn't in a good place mentally. I was dealing with a lot of rejections, both in work and personal life. And I finally admitted to myself that I needed to take the time to really figure out what I wanted out of my career. To keep my head above water, I grabbed a part-time job, but it was a lifeline. It felt like a confession. I wasn't where I really wanted to be. In the midst of all the chaos, I knew I needed a plan, but I don't like the usual SMART goals. They always feel like a trap and a setup for disappointment. And I realized I was stuck in a fixed mindset, kind of shying away from the daunting task of goal setting. But I knew I needed to goal set. It was just finding a new way of how. One day in August, I was stress cleaning my room, and then I felt like it was fate. I found a book I received after graduating high school, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which suddenly became exactly what I needed. I felt like it was a sign from the universe. At first, I was a little bit reluctant to start reading this book, and it was mainly because I didn't want quick fixes. So after reading the first few chapters, I put the book down for a little while. The next few months, I was playing tug-of-war in my head. Should I chase the stability of an in-house job or stick with the unpredictable freedom of freelance? It was a battle between security and passion. But thanks to this book, I started to truly understand what is important to me. So it wasn't about money or status. It was about aligning my work with my values, my energy, and my life. And that's where goal setting became my lifeline. It wasn't just about ticking boxes off. It was about creating a purpose-driven life. It gave me clarity, direction, and fuel to keep me going. It helped me when things got tough. I had a plan. I was working towards a purpose-driven goal now. So it really helped when executive dysfunction came in to try and derail my creativity. So what kind of goals did I set? A lot. They were skill-based, business-based, personal, and financial. For skill-based goals, it wasn't just about learning new software, though that's part of it. It was about refining and building on what I already knew. For example, I'm pretty comfortable with vector graphics, but I've been working on improving their construction so that they can be simplified in animations. I even took some time to learn basics of Adobe After Effects animation just to get better at understanding how to construct those vector graphics. I'm not offering animation as a service yet, but it's about expanding my knowledge base. It's about pushing my creative boundaries. Along with this goal, I gave myself a monthly challenge of one creative project every single month in 2025. For my business goals, this has been a huge focus, especially after the feedback I got during my job search over the summer and early fall. You don't have enough experience. This was a common theme. And honestly, it stung. So I decided to create my own personal experience through Freelance. One of the best and most humbling pieces of advice I received was do work for free or for a very low rate just to get real world experience. Find a problem and solve it with your skills. That's what clients and that's what interviewers want to see. So I set a goal of landing 20 to 25 clients this year. I know that might sound like a lot to some of you, but I've broken that down into new versus existing clients. This is about getting creative and creating a sustainable career. I'm hoping 50% of those clients I set will turn into repeated clients. And not all of those clients are going to be huge projects. Some of them might be just going down to my local sandwich shop and saying, hey, Can I redesign your menu for $100? I noticed there's some inconsistencies and readability issues that might cause people to be overwhelmed when they come into the shop. I love your sandwiches and I would love to help your business. This came with realizing that I'm really good at marketing other people, but I'm not the best at marketing myself. And this was a hard pill to swallow, but it's something that I need to improve for myself if I really want to survive in freelance. And that kind of brings me to my next goal, personal development. It's not enough to have a great portfolio as a designer. You have to talk about it. Networking and building your brand are critical. If you're not talking about your work, what's the point? This was about growing and evolving. I'm really proud of the part-time job I took at the bike shop because that got me out of my comfort level. I don't love talking to people, and as a sales associate, I have to engage with people. I have to talk to people. I have to be the conversation starter. And that was a huge challenge for me, but I've developed a lot of skills from that job that I feel like I can now leverage for my design work. And of course, I have financial goals. I'm aiming to grow my business by 20% each year. This seems more achievable when you break it down into smaller, actionable steps. But this wasn't all about chasing numbers. It's about building a life I loved that could be sustainable. One of the best pieces of advice I heard from previous creators is treat your part-time job as your side hustle and treat your creative work as your full-time job. And that has really stuck with me. And that's kind of where my financial goals have derived from. One of the biggest goals I have is to actually charge myself fairly inside of the design world. And my rates are different depending on what types of clients I have. Like I said earlier, I'm planning on doing work for free or even just for $100. But I don't want to undervalue my skills on projects I know I can charge a fair fee for. I realized a huge part of actually showing people what you're worth is having stronger organizational and communication skills so that they have more trust in you, not only as a designer, but as a business person. So now that I had my goals, I hit a roadblock. I didn't really know how to make these goals consistent. One huge realization that made so much sense to me as someone who struggles with attention was just how much my environment impacts my focus. I knew I needed to dedicate specific energy to different tasks. Luckily, I was able to expand into another room and create my own design studio. Getting my desk out of my bedroom was huge for my work-life balance. I was not tempted anymore to crawl into bed when I was experiencing creative block on a project anymore because my bed wasn't 2 feet away from my desk. And something else I've realized in having a new space, I had room to create visual cues to track my progress, which is a huge principle from Atomic Habits, but really helped me because I'm someone who, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Those things need to be in sight to be in mind and for me to be constantly working on them. Tracking progress is so important, but spreadsheets and apps just don't work for me. I needed visual cues as tangible reminders. I have a big ass calendar right next to my desk showing everything I have going on for the year, along with my mantra I've used for the past 8 years and my mission statements I created from the 7 habits. These are visual reminders of the goals I've set and why I'm achieving them. I have a lot of other tangible cues I like to use in my space. One, for example, is I have a Lego phone booth. It's not built yet, but I'm planning on doing that one day. But right now, I'm putting my phone next to it so that it's away from my desk, but kind of in the vicinity if I need to use it, and I only go to it when I need it. Something else that's been really nice about this space is I have 2 separate desks, one for design work and one for illustration work. so that I can keep those two projects separate, keep the projects out and visible, so that I can continuously work on projects, but it's somewhat organized. I've also got 2 different planning systems to help achieve my goals and track my goals. I have a weekly to-do list that I cross off throughout the week. I have a Google Calendar I use to track my hours and my time spent on specific activities, so I can track the amount of time I spend on client work versus general office tasks and make sure that I'm actually compensating myself fairly for those hours. And then I also have a monthly goal tracker that helps keep my 1, 3, and 5-year goals on top of mind. These are all cues that help me build habits into my routine and actually help me achieve those goals. So I'm really excited that I have built this studio. It's still a full work in progress, but I'm excited that I'm 3 months into achieving my goals. And part of these goals was moving into a new space, making a studio, setting up my visual cues, and just getting my foundation of goals moving forward in the right direction. And I'm really proud of where I am today. So I am getting back into doing some YouTube projects and more creative projects, and I'm really excited to be working on that. But I am really proud of how far I've come in creating these visual cues and just an environment that promotes getting my habits and dedicating time and space and just creating this personal ecosystem where I can actually get on track, achieve my goals, focus, dedicate my energy in a positive manner. And I am really excited for that and really proud of how far I've come. Look, I get it. This channel might seem a little off topic for a design channel, but I'm a freelance graphic designer. And right now I've been going through a lot of change and a lot of tough periods in freelancing. And I want to share that journey with you because I really hope that someone out there sees this story and has a better idea of what freelance is, what it entails, and kind of how to navigate it. And I really hope to share more of my creative work soon. I've been kind of dealing with some executive dysfunction of how I want to actually present it in a video format. And a lot of my work within the past 1.5 years have been under NDA contracts, or my clients haven't published that work yet. So I can't share it publicly yet. So I'm kind of in this weird waiting period of I want to do a lot of personal projects and share those to the world, but I'm getting hung up on how to actually share that with the world. So I really just want to get back to some designing, and that is kind of the reason behind this video. I'm setting goals to get back to more designing and less talk about freelance. But now I want to hear your story. What are your goals? Are you doing freelancing, or are you thinking about corporate world? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. If you have any, please leave a comment. If you like this video or think if it was helpful, please leave a like. And as always, hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more of me. I am hoping to do more content on my design work, and then also continuing my print series. That print is not dead. So if you want to stay tuned for those, please hit that little notification button so you can be notified when I post my videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.